Okay, yeah. Yep. Yep, those are the right specs. Yeah, for the theatrical release of back in the day. Yeah, you got everything right. Yeah, just make sure you do that at Dolby Studios. Okay, yeah, Dolby Labs. It's the same place. Okay, good. Great. All right, let me know how you make out. It's May 20th. Yeah, that's the release date. AMC. The AMC Lowe's Theater chain. All right, perfect. Thanks a lot, Ray. All right, I'll talk to you later.
Hello, and welcome to Stage, Screen, and In Between. I'm Helen, and I'm with a very important director, producer, and actor, the incredible Paul Borghese. And I'm at his office in TAPPAN, New York, and he's taking a few minutes out to show us around all his memorabilia, and we're going to go for a little trip down memory lane. Thank you so much, Paul. But before we do that, I want to talk about your hot new movie that's coming out back in the day, May 20th. Paul, what a cast you have in that.
Well, thank you. Yes, I'm really excited about the release of Back in the Day. It's another film that I've made with William DeMeo, who's also in the film and plays the lead actor. And his son debuts his acting career in this movie, and he did a great job in it, Cristian DeMeo. And we have Alec Baldwin, we have Danny Glover, we have Annabella Sciorra, we have Michael Madsen, we have Shannen Doherty. We have a great cast in this movie. Ronnie Marmo, who's a friend of mine, who's a great actor, plays a terrific role, and also Joey D'Onofrio. I could keep going on, but I don't want to forget anybody. But we do have a really, really good cast.
Give us a brief synopsis of the film, will you?
Well, the movie's about a young teenager who grows up in Brooklyn, half Italian, half Puerto Rican, and it was pretty racist back then. It was a hard time to grow up in an Italian neighborhood if you weren't all Italian. So the kid goes through a lot of trouble and loses his father in a sense at a very early age because his father was an abusive alcoholic and kind of leaves their life. The lives of him and his mother. I don't want to give away too much about the story, but then something happens with his mother in the story early on that makes one of the wise guys, played by Michael Madsen, take him under his wing and make him, not make him, but trains him or gets him a trainer who's Danny Glover, so that he can become a professional boxer. And he's in the game for many, many, many years, but because he's on the street as well, he never really quite makes it. And then he has this big, sort of comeback, and he winds up winning the world championship, the middleweight world championship, at a very, at an unlikely age, being like, I guess, in his late 30s in the movie. Yeah.
Would you mind if we showed everybody the trailer for that movie?
I would love it if you showed everybody the trailer.
Great. Let's take a look.
Biggest fight of my life. People will doubt till you prove them wrong.
Well, this is an Italian neighborhood.
Wait until I tell your papa.
And you're not Italian.
I will tell yours too, but I don't talk to no speak.
I'm really starting to hate my own father.
Hey, you show some respect, though. Big job.
What are you gonna do, Rodriguez?
My dad said his father is in the mafia.
Why'd you let it fight like that? We got a little Mike Tyson over here.
You can do something better with her life. It's gonna be huge.
Man, that's some set of wheels you got there. And that fight last night.
What's your name again?
Fella from the neighborhood, come on.
You know, you've been doing this for a long time, but your window is closing. There are always going to be people who are going to try to knock you down.
What you think? You could just come back here? To my neighborhood?
Us being seen together right now won't be good for either of us.
You know what Dominic's capable of.
Don't do anything.
Come on, it was a joke.
Back in the day, you did wrong, there was serious consequences. We really going to argue over a cigarette?
No guns get shot in my neighborhood.
Have you lost your mind?
Unless I give the okay, that they get shot.
No matter what it is you're doing, it's hard to climb your way to the top.
Everything you've been through in your life comes down to these final 3 minutes.
Gotta know my background. If I get knocked down, I get back up. I never back down.
pretty serious consequences.
I saw you fight last night. That's some left hand you got.
Man, I just came by to wish your Brooklyn brother some luck.
They wonder why I'm acting this way. I'm acting this way because I was raised back in the day.
Wow, Paul, that is phenomenal. How much training did it take for Willie to do this movie?
Well, he did a lot of training, physical training and boxing training, and he worked with a personal trainer. And, I give him a lot of credit because he got himself into stupendous shape for the movie. And he set his mind to it, and he said, I'm going to do this, and I want to be able to play a role like this. And he did it. And as a director, I made sure to make him look as good as I could make him look, So it was a combination of his great performances and doing what we did behind the camera. And, all of his opponents were terrific. So a lot of the fight scenes, I feel, look really good and are just as believable and as powerful and exciting as a lot of the other boxing movies. They weren't unrealistic like they are in some movies, and they weren't boring like they are in some movies. I think we found a middle road to that, and I think people will enjoy the movie. It's also a great story. It's not a boxing movie per se. Sorry about the sirens.
You have so much memorabilia in this room, and I my hat's off to you because you have either been the producer, the director, the actor, sometimes all of the above, and everything in this room. You want to tell us something about the posters that we're standing in front of?
Well, this is my office of TAPPAN Films, which is outside of my outer city office, I call it. Which I come to sort of to relax and to write. I have a lot of meetings up here. It's in Rockland County, and it's a much different atmosphere and a much different pace than New York City is. So I do a lot of my work up here, and it's a little bit of a memory lane of different projects that...
It is a memory lane.
Yes.
So let's start over here. We have a Soprano poster here, so I know that you worked on The Sopranos. You want to start with that?
Sure. Well, that's actually it's an autographed photo of James, the late James Gandolfini, who was a good friend of mine, and that was actually one of the original campaigns for The Sopranos when it first started coming onto television. And we lived in the same building together on Bleecker Street in Greenwich Village, so we became friends early on before the show even took off. And when I became the president of GIAA, the Guild of Italian American Actors, he became one of the first new members, and he helped me in the way of building it from like 67 members to like over 500 members. So I did play a role on The Sopranos. Actually, the first season I was Stevie Van Zant's stand-in for that whole first season. Then the second season, I didn't want to do any more any background or stand-in work, and I turned it down. And instead, I wound up getting a small role on the show in one of the episodes in the second season, the second to last episode, as part of one of the sanitation guys in one of the scenes and all that. So
let's move on. You have now behind me is the Food Fellas. What's that?
It's called Dinner with the Food Fellas, an invitation you can't refuse, and it was a concept I had for a television show, which was with my cousin Tony Darrow and Vincent Pastore, Joe Ganascoli, who are all actors who are known for playing good fella type roles. Yes. So the play on it was that it was Food Fellas instead of Good Fellas, and they would go to different restaurants for every episode, and they would have guests, celebrity guests. And this particular episode we shot at Rayo's, the first episode, and Lorraine Bracco was our guest. She's in the picture, and Anthony Michael Hall was one of our guests, and then Emily Francis came on as the entertainment sort of news person who gave us like the gossip during dessert time. And so it was a lot of fun shooting the pilot. We also shot a lot of field segments in Little Italy of the Bronx, so we were on Arthur Avenue for a lot of that. And the show was picked up at one point in time by Discovery with TLC, and then just with all the other disappointments that happened in this business, we were 2 weeks away from going into production, and a new CEO came in and decided they wanted to put a whole new slate of projects in. So we went, it came down off the slate, and who knows, maybe we'll still sell the show. But we had a lot of fun, and these guys are my friends. So.
You always bounce back, though. You always bounce back. Now, what is this one? Once Upon a Time in Brooklyn.
Well, Once Upon a Time in Brooklyn is a film that I made with William DeMeo. I've made a lot of films with William DeMeo, and it started out being called Goat because the main character that William plays, Bobby Baldano, has a Pontiac GTO, and back in the day, in the late 60s, early 70s, the GTOs were referred to as the GOAT, which stood for the greatest of all times.
I didn't know what that meant.
Yes, and the distributor, unfortunately, decided to change the name of the movie to Once Upon a Time in Brooklyn, which I didn't think was fitting for the movie, and certainly threw off a lot of, my creative integrity was compromised because I shot the movie to make this car like another character in the movie, and it was all about that. And then when you go and change the name of the movie, it's like I would have never shot the movie like that. And things were seen from almost the point of view of the car and aspects of the car and the wheels of the car, and so that whole thing kind of went out the window. But it's a great movie. I'm very proud of Once Upon a Time in Brooklyn. We had Armand Desante in the movie, and Kathy Moriarty, and Ice-T, and Ja Rule, and of course William DeMeo played the lead. And I'm very proud of that movie, and that's pretty much probably the last feature film that I directed outside of Back in the Day, which is going to be released in theaters on May 20th of this year, 2016.
Okay, let's take a look at your trailer for Once Upon a Time in Brooklyn, also known as GOAT.
All know why you're here. This is the biggest honor you can have in this life. You will now be a part of us. You all know the rules. If called upon, you will drop everything. We are your family. We come before anything.
So what's your name?
Come on. You already know my name. To be perfectly honest with you, when did you get out? This morning. I just got out of prison.
I want things to get off to a good start, you know? I'm telling you, Tim, that is Bobby Baldano. I think he could do good for himself legitimately.
Well, if it isn't Pacino and De Niro.
There's another war coming down. Now our war time.
We gotta do something with this guy. He's out there planning jobs without even checking. All right, everybody, freeze! Let's go! Fill this bag, Bobby, I told you. On the ground, face down, come on, quickly!
You know, every day I pray you don't end up like that.
You belong over here.
Man, not like him.
I get where you're coming from. Well, I can't help. For some reason, I think we can.
What are you gonna do about your son?
It's not like that.
No, it is like that. You choose that life. That life.
You gotta talk to him.
Slow down, cowboy.
You're the only one who's gonna listen to him.
Talk about the secrets of our lives in any shape or form. My soul will burn in hell.
Let me tell you something, my names are splattered all over, especially yours.
What, are you some kind of tough guy?
Come on, kid. Huh?
Just relax. Don't go talking about him to anybody.
If you breathe a word in this thing,
Because he'll find out, and then you got problems.
you're a dead man.
You've had a few altercations with these scumbags.
You're still around. Hey, where am I gonna go? It's good. Because now that I'm out, I'm calling you for something. Still got my number, right? Right here.
Because this kid could be a real loose cannon if you provoke him. I'm telling you now, you can't provoke him.
This one's for me.
I tell you, Bobby's cold-blooded.
I'm through with this. I'm done. There's too many people in this family right now.
You got brought in for questioning.
I don't know. I don't trust.
What happened? They talk?
Ain't making the same mistakes I made in the past.
Wow. Who's doing business with you? What makes you think we trust you?
Trust me?
Are you kidding me with that? I think you're a little bit out of line.
What do you think, you're just gonna go out there on your own?
We send more business your way.
That ain't gonna happen.
I ask you for one small favor.
Favor? What are you talking about?
You ain't got yourself one big favor out of me already?
This family needs you, you know?
FBI! What do you think about it, Johnny?
You think I'm stupid, Bobby?
Never hit a girl before?
None of your mind.
You think I'm blind?
You're true when I tell you you're true.
You think people don't talk?
Never been a bad girl.
You're a lowlife, Bobby.
Do it.
I think that you should probably just forget about this little incident and move on.
I'm done, Jimmy.
You know, you put me in a bad spot over here. One that you ain't gonna be too happy.
I wanted out too, but you. I guess you had other plans for it, didn't you?
What happened to that life? You chose to live, Bobby.
Joseph?
You don't want to live it?
No more.
What about your shoes?
you saw.
Wow, that was really a high energy movie. I think that was kind of like a guy's movie, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah, well, it was supposed to be sort of like a high octane, high testosterone kind of movie with the cars and the and the women and everything. It's kind of a formula that Hollywood uses, but we used for an independent film. So it has a little bit of everything, that movie, Once Upon a Time in Brooklyn. So if you get a chance to see Once Upon a Time in Brooklyn, Netflix, whatever you got, we'd love for you to see it.
Paul, you have a poster here that's really getting my attention. 61. You want to tell us about that movie?
Sure. Well, the HBO movie 61, which was directed by Billy Crystal, is probably one of the best baseball movies that's ever been made. I think it's gone down as rated in 3 in the top 10. But I was very fortunate to have worked on that movie. I got to play Yogi Berra in the movie. I got to meet Yogi Berra, get to know him, hang out with him, spend time with him before doing the movie, and I worked a whole summer on it. So there's guys that pay money to go to fantasy baseball camp, and I was paid to go to baseball camp to become a better baseball player than I had been prior to that, because I hadn't played in many years. And it just was a great experience, and it's a really good movie, and a lot of women really like the movie that aren't even baseball fans.
Yeah. Now, did you play baseball in the movie?
Yes, I played baseball in the movie. If anyone that hasn't watched the movie yet, or if you have, you notice that they never really show any of the Yankees. I played, a New York Yankee, of course. They never showed any of the New York Yankees get up to bat except for Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle, and that's because the movie was about the Roger Maris-Mickey Mantle home run race. And although we all did get up at bat and hit the ball, and they didn't show us hitting, although they did show us playing the field, but just so how it worked out in the editing.
And now Mark McGwire. His historic chase continues. 1 home run shy of Babe Ruth. 2 shy of Roger Maris's 61.
Mel Allen with Phil Rizzuto coming to you live from Yankee Stadium. We're just about an hour away from opening day of the 1961 season.
Well, Ralph Houk's got some team with Yogi and Ellie Howard behind the plate. Not to mention those bombers, Roger Maris and the great Mickey Mantle.
Who's that? Big deal. All he counts as 1.
You can write what you want, Sam. The fans love this guy.
Oh, look at this. Mr. Ambidextrial.
Ambidextrial?
Ambidextrial, that side, this side. See you now. Mick, you got to concentrate. You're not concentrating. 90% of the game is half mental. Remember that.
Hey, I heard DiMaggio's throwing out the first ball tomorrow.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah?
Joe D?
Himself.
No shit.
Yeah. What do you say?
What?
When Mickey first came up, he's 18 years old. Everybody's saying he's going to be the next DiMaggio.
No, that he was going to be better than DiMaggio.
Of course, Joe D didn't like that too much.
Mickey was never that way.
Yeah, when I first came up, he was the first guy to take me out with the rest of the guys. Remember the 51 series against the Giants?
Yeah, I guess. What happened?
His knee exploded. Tore it apart.
Could hear in the bullpen, Raj.
Yeah.
What are you going to do, Raj? I mean, Frick used to be the Babe's ghostwriter. They were really tight.
Yeah, well, it stinks, yo. He's a crock of shit's what it is.
You never know he has 53 home runs.
Damn if he does, damn if he don't. Nice shot, Raj.
Good job, Roger.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday, Raj! From all the gang at Good Shores. There you go. Happy birthday.
You have a poster here for Alienated, and you said that people can actually see that on YouTube. You want to tell us something about Alienated?
Sure. Alienated, which there's a poster here, and there's a couple of different versions of it. Alienated is a short film that I directed. I also played a role in, and Vincent Pastore and Louis Veneria were the leads in the film. They co-starred in it, and it's a very funny story about a hitman who's obsessed with and afraid of UFOs. So I wish we had made it as a feature film, but we made it as a short film. It's a comedy. It's about 22 minutes long, and the trailer I think we might show, but we also can be seen on YouTube if you just put in Alienated, and I guess if you put Vinny Pastore's name in it or my name in it, you'll get to the right one, and you could actually see the whole short film or the trailer that's up.
Hey, now, what happened?
You don't even want to know.
So, what kind of deal you getting into?
You ask too many questions. I'm moving some money around.
Whose money?
Gino, you gonna make that drop today?
3 o'clock, I got it. Somebody sends me for money, I go get it. End of story. No questions asked.
Now, wait a minute. You said they're watching us, right? They're watching us right now.
They are watching you, buddy. Y-O-U. They know you.
What?
Who?
Them.
Did you say flying saucers?
That's right. They're looking at you. They know exactly where you are. Paulie, it's Gino. I can't make the drop.
What do you mean you can't make the drop?
It's the friggin' EMP.
The what?
Electromagnetic pulse. They set them off all the time.
Let me get...
They don't want us to leave. Eddie!
What?
Aliens!
Mexicans?
Yeah, I mean, it was the little people, you know, with a lot of lights, and you didn't see them.
It's not just a boxing movie. It's really almost like the boxing's like a backdrop to the movie, and but it's a very strong backdrop, and it's a story, and it's a coming of age story in a sense, but it jumps from him being a teenager to him being an adult.
Now, what did you take away from that? Because I'm sure with all the work that you've done on films, you learn every time you do something. Was there anything that you learned when you were making that movie back in the day that, you came away with?
I did more multiple camera shooting than I've done before in the way of the action sequences, with the boxing scenes. Much of the boxing scenes I was shooting with 3 cameras and flipping it around and reshooting the scene again, and in my head trying to edit and cut what we choreographed in the way of the boxing. So that was different than some of the things I've done before. And what I always try to do, which I think I did in this movie, is I always try to make it better than the pages. I always try to bring it to another level of what's on the pages, so that you can try to have the actors work with what's on the pages, and then try to bring different nuances to it, add things for them to say, take things away for them to not say that maybe didn't work once they start performing it. So there were a lot of things that were created on the set, but so what I came away from it was a great experience working with again some of the biggest named actors that I've worked with.
You work with a lot of celebrities, but on this one you had, as you said, Danny Glover, Alec Baldwin, Michael Madsen, and you got along good with them?
Yeah, I got along great with all the actors. I've tend to be known or been called an actor's director.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing. I mean, I know my stuff technically, so to speak, but I like to be able to trust my technical team and spend a lot of time with the actors to really get the best performances out of them, and to be there to answer their questions and to be supportive. And because when you're directing, you're really wearing a lot of hats, and I pay attention to every little detail. And I think that some of the bigger name actors that were on the set appreciated, if I was able to work efficiently and not keep them there too long, and if I was giving them enough takes but not too many takes. Yeah. So it is always different. Every name actor is different to work with, and some of them are very, very giving, and some of them just want to do their job and leave, and some of them are strong-minded, and some of them are open-minded.
So. And some of them are busy, and they just have tight schedules, and they're trying to give you your time, but they have other things that they have to get to as well. But you have the advantage because you've been an actor for a long time, so you know the other side of the camera, so that's why they love to be directed by you.
Well, I hope that's the case, and I hope you're right, because I know what it's like being on the other side of the camera.
It is. Make sure you see Back in the Day out in theaters on May 20th. Am I correct about that? Out in theaters. You've come a long way, baby.
Thank you. I like the way you said that. Out in theaters. Out in theaters.
Out in theaters. Make sure you see it. Be there or be square. Thanks, Paul.
Like a boxing ring. Right.